What a run chase that was, courtesy Yashasvi Jaiswal, and some massive hitting from Shivam Dubey in the middle as Rajasthan Royals stunned Chennai Super Kings in a breathtaking match, winning that contest by 7 wickets. Of course, earlier in the afternoon, Delhi Capital also got the better of defending champions Mumbai Indians by 4 wickets. That was on a different kind of game, on a different kind of surface, low scoring game. But wow, this was some serious hitting. There was, of course, Ruturaj Gaikwad with his maiden IPL 100. He is now the orange cap holder. But Rajasthan Royals just completely disintegrated, dismantled the Super Kings. I have with me Arnav, of course, the Super Kings fan. She would be a little distraught tonight. Jaydeep will be thrilled with that run chase. Pawan again, mixed emotions, I'm sure, because this table has opened up. But Boria, where was Shivam Dubey all this while through the tournament? What were they doing? Where were they hiding it? A player of that caliber. And what about that knock from Jaiswal as well? Ruturaj Gaikwad, three young Indian batsmen just taking it to the top.
यही तुम्हारे घर में था क्या शिवम दुबे? तुम लोग रियल पराग खिला रहे थे यार, मुझे बोलो तो क्यों खिला रहे थे?
अब रेपुटेशन थोड़ी रियान पराग की इस तरह की बनी हुई थी कि मैनेजमेंट वाज कंटिन्यूअसली बैकिंग हिम, but Shivam Dubey, absolute talent, and again he proved today that why he has been picked in the auction at so higher price. And while playing for RCB, he was not getting promoted up the order, but till the time he's playing for Rajasthan Royals, he has been promoted. Although first half of the tournament has not been that well for Shivam Dubey, but the start of second phase is delightful.
Rajesh, the point is when Yashasvi was hitting Josh Hazelwood, it was Josh versus Josh. Josh was only in one camp. I was thinking this fellow is hitting not me. It was not me bowling to him. It was Josh Hazelwood, one of the greatest in the world. Imagine the talent in Indian cricket, that there's a Ruturaj Gaikwad on one end and a Yashasvi Jaiswal at the other end of the spectrum. Unbelievable. Harnam, just as a cricket fan, you celebrate tonight. Whether Mahendra Singh Dhoni has lost or not lost doesn't matter when you see such talent out there in the park. Tell me.
Of course, sir. I mean, as an Indian cricket fan, absolutely thrilled on the young talent we saw today. It was all youngsters. I mean, nothing against any of the teams. Firstly, I would like to start by congratulating Jaydeep. The way the youngsters played. A 19-year-old guy hitting Josh Hazelwood, who has an experience of 11 years in international cricket. And so effortless shots. I mean, I was absolutely thrilled to see the way he was hitting the ball. And obviously, Shivam Dubey was obviously a delight to see. Also, Ruturaj Gaikwad, the way he was hitting sixes, like it was like an easy walk for him. So absolutely thrilled the way youngsters have played tonight.
Pawan, Rajasthan has once again given you a lifeline.
Well, I don't have a happy memories with Rajasthan Royals, so I have mixed emotions.
But talk to me about the Shivam Dubey that I saw today is at least 5 kilos leaner. He looks much leaner, much fitter, much better than that baby flab is gone. The body movement is much quicker. I thought this was a top quality Shivam Dubey out there in the park. I was super impressed. We've seen with Ruturaj, we've seen with Shivam, we've seen with Yashasvi. This is what the IPL is. It is the Indian Premier League, and the level of talent is unbelievable. Pawan, before I go to Tanmay.
And the beauty is that most of the Indian players are coming to the party. Unlike the initial seasons or, from the initially during the inception. So it was the overseas players who used to make the impact. If we see now young Indian, uncapped Indian players who are making the mark. That is the, the top thing to look out for in the IPL.
Rajeshri, I was thinking to myself, we've got a World Cup team, right? We've got a World Cup team. And I was doing my parallel Indian World Cup team, just as you do as a matter of fancy. I was doing my parallel Indian World Cup teams. I was thinking if I could open with Yashasvi Jaiswal and, of course, Ruturaj Gaikwad. And I have a Sanju Samson at 3. And I was actually doing my team. I have a Deepak Chahar and a Shardul Thakur. I have Yuzvendra Chahal. I was doing my team. I've got a Venkatesh Iyer. So I was paralleling every place. A Hardik Pandya, I was putting a Venkatesh Iyer there. Trust you me, this team can take it on. That is the level of
Absolutely.
talent we now have. Think about it.
No, absolutely. In fact, now will there be a growing clamor now to at least maybe even name additional players? You can do that, right? The Sri Lankans have done that. A lot of these batsmen are going to make a case for some sort of a replacement or inclusion. On the other hand, Boria, before again I go to Tanmay, of course, happy night, happy afternoon for him too. Look at the Mumbai Indians batting lineup is still looking so unsettled. Rohit not getting runs, of course, he's a big tournament player. But you'd be happy with the fact that Surya Kumar Yadav spent some time there, 20, 26 balls. He did begin to look like his old self. Of course, it was a slow pitch. Give it to him.
Imagine the narrative. The narrative is fearless. That first scoring shot of Ravichandran Ashwin of 6 was the Surya narrative that we know. So it was a fearless effort by Surya is exactly what I want. And Shreyash Iyer, he's a favorite. All of you guys know. We constantly chat. He's done everything to be in that World Cup team. He's broken open the door yet again. There's no question. So, and if Hardik Pandya doesn't bowl, as Mahela Jayawardene alluded to it today, that he is not in a position to, then do you persist with the Hardik Pandya for your World Cup team, or do you play a massive trump card and get in a Venkatesh Iyer? Do you do something like that? Do you get a Shardul Thakur? Do you get someone like that in? Because Hardik Pandya clearly isn't bowling. Tanmay, talk to me about Shreyash Iyer. Talk to me about Avesh Khan, 140 kilometers Yorker to clean up Hardik Pandya.
Man, I was really happy that when you have Nokia and Rabada in your team and someone like a Avesh Khan then comes up and shines in the team. It's a thing to be proud of for a Delhiite. It's a thing to be proud of as an Indian fan. You have to see that the World Cup probably 2024, 5, after that, whatever World Cups happen, this is the team we are going to take in the World Cup. As you mentioned, Rituraj, Venkatesh Iyer, we have our Steve Singh, we have Harpreet Brar, Ravi Bishnoi. These are the players we are going to take us in. And Shreyas Iyer or Rishabh Pant or someone like a Sky can be the captain of that young team. So probably we are building towards that phase as well. And probably in this IPL, if you consider, I personally, my facts are correct, Avesh Khan is at number 2 for the purple cap contention. So yeah, man, he is amazing with his bowling. He's amazing with his slower ones at this wicket. And the way Shreyas Iyer batted today with maturity, along with Ravi Ashwin, where wickets were trembling at the other end, it was commendable to see. And how Iyer is playing, it's just like he's not the captain right now, but it was just like a captain's innings. When he was the captain, he used to do it like this. He used to come at 1, he used to come at 2 and take the innings forward, take the innings to the end and then win the match for us. Rishabh Pant looked a bit sluggish. He was trying shots, didn't connect it well today. So probably Iyer took the charge and said, I will do it. And he completely delivered along with Ashwin and a comprehensive victory, I would say.
Pawan, you take this one. Ishan Kishan replaced by somebody like a Shreyash Iyer or a Venkatesh Iyer or a Ruturaj Gaikwad before I go to Rajoshi with the next one?
No, I would say Shreyas Iyer because he made his point pretty strong, especially with his performance today. He was like absolutely super cool. He did not wanted to take any unwanted risk because the target was pretty chaseable. If you bat out 20 overs, you'll get there. And end of the day, he was the one who made the difference. Obviously, in the end, Ashwin did give him the support. But the composure that Shreyas Iyer has shown, he has made a strong point that he deserves to be in the Indian World Cup squad.
Ezil Bandhan, what are the chances of Mumbai getting into the playoffs? Rajoshi, explain the scenario.
Very, very tricky for Mumbai Indians now, especially because Rajasthan Royals, with that victory, have also climbed to 10 points from 12 matches and they've improved their net run rate drastically. That is what is going to hurt Mumbai Indians now going into the last 2 matches. Look at this scenario. The next game is between Mumbai Indians play Rajasthan Royals next, and then they have Sunrisers Hyderabad in that last game on that double header day as well. So Mumbai Indians not only need to win big, they need to unsettle a couple of those net run rate factors for teams above them. Obviously, if they win against Rajasthan Royals, they're gone. They're not going to finish with 14 points. So the cutoff is 14 points. Mumbai Indians can still make it, but the first thing they have to do is win against Rajasthan Royals and win big. Otherwise, they're in deep trouble.
Okay. Mahesh Rao, Boria sir, you said 1 week back, Ash, Varun and Jadeja will start. What are your picks today? He's got Aksar in. Possible, because the left arm spinner, again, you've got to see which ground, how, etc. So we'll take that. But Harnam, why don't you take this? Finishing off with Jadeja. Clearly, we've been shouting hoarse that you've got to get Jadeja up the order. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, absolutely. I mean, having your best player while batting first or while chasing is a wonderful move. Having a MS Dhoni or a Raidu or even a Suresh Raina as of now, I'll be very critical with this because Raina and Raidu are not at the top of the form. MS Dhoni has done some good hitting in the last match, but again, he performs, but I don't know. I can't say that he has been in his top form, but yeah, having Jadeja up the order is going to help the team a lot. It will be a wonderful move if team actually starts promoting Robin Uthappa here. Actually, I would really want to see Robin Uthappa back in the squad in place of a Raidu.
Got it. Okay. I would agree with, because Suresh Raina is just not looking the part. Ujjwal Sahu. Harnam is a fan of Dhoni. I am a fan of Harnam. Well done, Ujjwal. Well done. RR well played. Raju Rao. Rajashi take this. Delighted that they scrapped the quota given to Riyan Parag. Shivam Dube has shown his class. Rajashi.
That's what I was wondering. Whether from the moment he came out, Shivam Dube, we've been yelling on sports today. We're wondering, where is Shivam Dube? Why Riyan Parag? What has he done? But better sense prevailed. But I don't know. I hope for the sake of the Royals team and their fans that it wasn't too late in the day. But he definitely did make an impression, and that is what we were also talking about. Shivam Dube, he has that power, he has that hitting arm. He can give you a couple of overs. He's a good fielder, not a gun fielder. He's a good fielder, good young talent. I mean, better late than never. But again, hopefully, Rajasthan Royals can still stay on track till the last game.
Don't post high scores against RR, says Rahul Singh. That's it. Jaideep, take that.
Of course, high scores have always been the love for Rajasthan Royals. Be it 224 against the Punjab Kings last year, or 186 against Mumbai Indians, or Punjab Kings the other match last year. It's always fun for Rajasthan Royals to chase big scores. As the commentators say, when you are chasing big, the players have to be big with their mindset. So Rajasthan Royals have always proved that whenever we are chasing big totals, whenever we are on to some big challenges, our players are with big mindset. So that has been proved again today by Evan Lewis, Yashasvi Jaiswal. See, I was bashing my bowlers after the first inning. What have they done? It was only 70 runs around the 10 overs and 190 at the end of 20 overs. It's really disgusting. But actually, the way the bowlers have done has to be appreciated, because restricting CSK, such a quality side, at a score of 190 on this surface, it was all looking like a Wankhede like surface. So restricting CSK at a score of 190 at this surface was good. And when you don't have Chris Morris in, when you don't have Karthik Tyagi in, you only have Mustafizur Rahman in the name of experience. Also, not a fifth, we only had a part-timer in the face of fifth bowler. Rahul Tewatia is not a full-time bowler. So the team managed to restrict CSK at a decent total. And from there, it was just spot on, right on the money batting by Evan Lewis and then Yashasvi Jaiswal. Of course, Shivam Dube. It was a complete package.
Okay. You take this, Tanmay. Delhi all the way, says Orpon. Delhi always believe, he says, with a heart sign. Is it Delhi's year?
Why not, I would say. And why not, as a Delhi fan, if you question when will he say that it's not their team's year? Matlab, it's amazing to see how they perform. And in the pre-match show, I said that the TV thing, I forced my friend to close the TV the whole match. He watched it. He watched it a couple of times, but yeah, the result has come into our favor. And all the way, I would say there was a bit of trouble when Hetmeyer got out. I would say not at Pant, because I was expecting Pant to get out given the shots he was playing. So when Hetmeyer got out, we never had Akshar there. Akshar was promoted up the order, so we only had Ashwin there, and along with Iyer. So probably I was a little tense there. 93 for 6. Can we chase it down? Because it's not a joke against Trent Bolt and Bumrah, especially on this surface. They were bowling so good. a little bit of trouble there. But yeah, if you have to win matches like these, if you have to go for the trophy, you have to have these players like Shreyas Iyer and a little bit of support from someone at the other end, which today was Ashwin. So these matches can go in your favor, and probably if these kind of matches happen in the playoff stages, we have to deliver like this and take the cup home finally. After so long, it's looking so good. Last year, just a spot before, and now just we are expecting that finally this will be our year.
Are you a bully that you stopped your friend from? So have you bought him something? Have you bought him dinner? What have you done?
No,
Otherwise, you will be called a bully.
I have definitely promised him a party, a huge party after Delhi wins. But if Delhi doesn't win in the final somehow, then I am going to bash him more than the party he deserves.
Yeah, Rajoshi, what is going on? He doesn't allow his friend to watch. He said, I will
No,
ban
let's.
him.
So I want to add a point here. So let's not talk about superstition. So I'm actually watching today's match with my friends. So I forced one of my friend to sit in the washroom for the entire time when Delhi was batting. So he once stepped in and then the batsman got bowled. So he ended up spending the entire day over there. So he's actually staring at me. So let's not talk about these things now.
Oriya, do you want to tell us about what Tendulkar did to Sehwag during the World Cup final? This all stems from a lot of superstition and prevalent in Indian cricket.
You know,
It's always the same.
I'm quite taken aback. Yes, Sachin Tendulkar did not allow Virendra Sehwag to watch the final moments. He said Viru thought Sachin was sleeping. He was actually on the massage table lying down. And he said, "Tu kahin nahi ja raha hai. Uske baad million times you can watch it on television." Even that NatWest final of 2002, nobody went to the washroom. Everybody, no one was allowed to pee because 146 for 5 and then Yuvraj and Kev. So superstitions and stuff. But this one is a bit much. He doesn't allow his friend to watch and he says, I will bash him up if Delhi doesn't win, man. This guy is a dangerous fellow. I'm quite scared of this guy. Anyway, so let's take some more questions. Mumbai Indians saving Ishan Kishan, Rahul Chahar for the World Cup. Now that's Teji Surya taking a dig at Pawan. Pawan, you want to take that?
Yes, I'm up for it.
Take it. Come on.
Oh, I can't say it. So can you read it out for me, please?
He's saying you are saving Rahul Chahar and Ishan Kishan for the World Cup.
Not really. Well, so see, to be frank, Ishan Kishan was not doing the impact that he was doing in the last season. And when you say like in a franchise cricket, the important thing is like, to make the franchise win. That's what every franchise will want to do rather than thinking about the national team, because end of the day it is their franchise and they want their franchise to win. It's as simple as that for the franchise.
Trisha, Ashish, can you please tell us in the private chat or here, do we have clips of that Shreyas Iyer interview? Because I want to play a couple of those. I just want our viewers to see how hungry the man was. Needless to say, I did speak to him this evening. I can't obviously talk at length, but did have a pretty lengthy conversation. If we have clips of that interview, want to play a couple of the clips. But Rajeshri, before that, are you revising your top 4? Because you have 3 almost. Are you changing the final position?
I think for me, Mumbai Indians are slipping out pretty rapidly. RCB are just 1 win away from ceding that spot. Kolkata Knight Riders, Goria, they cannot make it from here on. They only have themselves to kick in the guts. Because of all the 4 teams with 10 points from 12 matches, their net run rate is the best and they are the only team with a positive net run rate. So Kolkata Knight Riders for me, as of now, my revised top 4 is DC CSK or CSK DC, depending on how that match shapes up on Monday. RCB and KKR, unless they're really fluffing it up from here.
Jaideep, if I have to, it was a perfect game for your team, but if I have to really go deep and find out a couple of criticisms, I will say Sanju Samson was just holding back when you could have finished it over earlier. Every piece of that net run rate matters. There was no need to block 2 balls of the 15th over. You could have closed it in the 16th and not taken it to the 18th. Thoughts on that?
You're absolutely correct. Every part of net run rate matters, as you said. Net run rate becomes really important. But actually, if we analyze the points table and the number of matches left, see if we win both the upcoming matches against KKR and the Mumbai Indians, and then somehow PBKs loses one of out of the remaining matches they have, then net run rate won't come into play even.
Mhm.
But you said it very rightly that every part of net run rate matters. So Sanju Samson would have finished it much earlier than they finished it for now. But all in all, I would say that they tried their best. They were doing at their best. Shivam Dubey, he was trying to hit each and every ball, and he was taking the guard, to hit each and every ball that he can. So I would not really want to blame Sanju on this, but yeah, that was something that can be done more, more good.
Harnam, no Dwayne Bravo. Sam Curran was once again picked on. You worried about that without Bravo,
Of
that's
course.
becoming a bit of a mess?
Of course, actually, we've missed both Deepak Chahar and Dwayne Bravo in the today's match. Deepak Chahar wonderfully gets us those initial crucial wickets at the very early on in the innings. So we missed Deepak Chahar and Dwayne Bravo. Other than that, I would actually say it was a massive batting effort from the youngsters. I mean, even Dwayne Bravo would have got hit that badly on his good days as well. Like the way Yashasvi Jaiswal was like hitting the balls ruthlessly to an experienced player like Josh Hazelwood. I don't think it was any baller's day, but yes, this loss at this juncture for Chennai Super Kings is important. They need to know where exactly they are, not performing well. What exact players do they need to have in shape for the playoffs? So this was a crucial loss which actually happened for us. So I think we'll take this loss as a lesson.
Pawan, hand on heart, do you want Hardik Pandya to be in that team, or do you take a punt and get someone like a Venkatesh Iyer, World Cup team?
Well, I'll still go with, I'll back Hardik Pandya.
Even
I'll pretty much
without the fact that he's not bowling?
Well, with the time being there, still at least, at a good 20 days, more than 20 days left for the World Cup, I'm pretty sure like he'll come back and start bowling because, as you were saying, like he's bowling in the nets. So I pretty much feel like he would be bowling. In fact, I expected him to bowl today. I thought like Pollard would be bowling over, but I thought like even Hardik would pitch in and bowl over at least.
Rajoshi, take that as well. Mahila's comments that Hardik sort of dicey with the ball. Does that make it difficult for the selectors?
No, definitely. I mean, even though he's bowling at the nets, it's not the same as bowling in a match scenario. Those 4 overs, it's only 4 overs, but you would have expected him to bowl earlier. Definitely queers the pitch for the selectors a little bit. You have someone like Venkatesh Iyer, you have someone like Harshal Patel, maybe not as good with the bat, but he's definitely someone who can slot himself in there. So I'd be a little worried. Now I'll be beginning to get a little worried about Hardik Pandya. Without his bowling, I don't think he gets into a playing 11 for any format.
Okay. Tanmay, when you take a look at the Delhi side, Prithvi Shaw comes back again, relatively fall short. Okay, let's first play the Shreyas Iyer clip, because I want Tanmay to talk about Shreyas Iyer, and if he thinks that there is a possibility that you'd replace an Ishan Kishan with the Shreyas Iyer in the World Cup squad. Take comments from all, but let's have that clip, Trisha, if you're ready with the first one.
It's you versus you always. I mean, I don't compare myself to others. Yes, obviously there is too many players who are there to take my position, and there's too much competition. But if I look at my performance in the last few years, it has been awesome, and I just want to, keep going beyond my abilities. I want to see that transition happening every day. So every day I want to become the best version of myself, and I'll work harder. I'll do anything to be in the team and make sure that my team wins. That is my mindset at this point of time. And yeah, the routine, the processes, I've been on point so far, and I just want to maintain it.
The takeaway for me in this interview, Rajoshi, was the hunger. Because clearly this man looked to be a man on a mission, and the hunger is coming through. Would you actually get him in the World Cup squad, somebody like, maybe for an Ishan Kishan? Rajoshi?
No, I'd love to. In fact, I've been saying this for the last couple of shows as well, Boria. For me, if there were to be two changes, in fact, if there were to be only two changes, I'd still get Chahal in for Chahal and Shreyas Iyer in for Ishan Kishan, because, like you said, he is that kind of a guy. And I like the fact that all great players already, Shreyas Iyer wants to compete with himself, and that is a line he used in that interview as well. So he keeps wanting to get better, and he's looking so fit. The most striking factor is that after his injury, he's playing top flight cricket, and he never looked like he went away. I definitely want him in that squad.
Now, clearly the pitches won't change. You might have a new square, you might have a number of decks which are not used, but come on, they will not be radically different from what we are seeing. If that is the case, and the run chase is 150 or 160 and not 200, somebody like a Shreyas Iyer automatically becomes a huge choice. Your thoughts?
Oh, wonderful. Seriously, I mean, the sort of cricket Shreyas Iyer has played earlier when he was the captain of the Delhi Capitals team as well, he showed his hunger for chasing, for getting runs. So I've absolutely loved him as a captain as well. His leadership tactics are on point as well. So him being in the squad will give much more stability than in Ishan Kishan.
Okay. Jaideep, when you now see your team, do you think finally you're getting your combination right? That you've got a Shivam Dubey there who can come in and bowl. You've got an extra bowling option. You've got Sanju. You've got Glenn Phillips there who can tonk the ball. You've got a David Miller slotted in. Maybe a Liam Livingston can come in again. But you've actually got it right. Does Chris Morris make it back, or this is the squad?
Yes, from the day one, I wanted this type of team because, as we are not having that kind of experience, as I mentioned in the previous show as well, as our batting lacks that kind of experience. So play three overseas batsmen is a really good idea. Have West Indian firepower, Evan Lewis at the start of the innings, then have experienced David Miller and Glenn Phillips at the middle of the innings so that they can provide some batting depth in your batting lineup. It's actually amazing. And, when you have someone like a Mayank Markande, you cannot really drop him because he has been... He did a really good job for Mumbai Indians when he was playing back in 2018. And, not getting chances after that, makes the man hungry to play and to perform in this kind of league. So Mayank Markande was waiting for his turn and on the slow pitches of Sharjah, I'm adamant that he is going to perform. Because he's kind of bowler and Sharjah pitches usually support that spin factor or slow bowling factor. So he can be useful for the Rajasthan Royals. Also, one thing I would like to mention that Kartik Tyagi, if fit, then he can replace Akash Singh. Akash Singh, although not being that bad because the pitch was so gloomy today, it worked really well for the batters. But if Kartik Tyagi is fit, he can surely replace Akash Singh. Otherwise, it's completely all right for the Rajasthan.
Okay, Tanmay, last few minutes on the show, so you take this one. Akshar Patel, hardly celebrated, not a star, but keeps doing the job for your team.
Yeah, it's Gandhi Jayanti today, and we call him Bapu. So yeah, he has worked for us not only today, but a couple of times in this leg only. And probably today was a bit of batting as well from him, which saved the job of Ashwin. Probably if Ashwin would have come around 75, 80, probably some problem would have caused to Shreyas Iyer as well, because 70 for 6 is any day harder than 93 for 6. So yeah, Akshar Patel has been delivering with us in the bowling. He didn't concede a boundary in the 2-3 matches consecutively in the power play. So it's very difficult as a bowler if you are a spinner, especially that you come and bowl in the power play, you don't concede a boundary, you get and pick wickets in the overs that are so crucial. And again, some of the very fierce openers we have in many IPL teams. And probably on the Shreyas Iyer aspect, for the World Cup squad, Shreyas Iyer definitely deserves a spot there. Be it Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar has been informed today, but Ishan Kishan, if he is not in the MI squad, how can you expect him to be in the Indian squad for the World Cup? It's a very major concern, and not too many changes occur. But as Rajshri said, that Iyer in for maybe Ishan Kishan and Chahal in for Chahar. And Iyer's interview, especially the hunger you mentioned, I see the shades of early young Virat Kohli there, becoming better than yourself, who you were yesterday, and the chasing, the hunger for runs. Virat Kohli in many shows has mentioned about the hunger, about the trophies, about the winning performances of the team. I see that aspect in Shreyas Iyer, a captain aspect in Shreyas Iyer. I love to talk to him if I get an opportunity about this someday.
Okay, so it's important that at some point in time we must get our fans to speak to some of these players, because that's also a promise that I make on Sports Today. We've made the fan shows possible. We'll get our fans to interact with the stars as well. Ashwin, by the way, batted very well today. Rajesh, you wrapped the show. But Harnam, your team has not gotten out, at least not lost a wicket 4 games in the power play. So Dalbati Churma for that. You deserve to have that. Rajesh,
Of course.
so you close the show, but toss to another Shreya clip because Trisha says it's ready. Tomorrow, another massive day in the office.
Another massive day, in fact, another double-header day, and this points table has really opened up, right? Royal Challengers Bangalore, of course, taking on Punjab Kings. RCB would want to win that one to assure their playoff spot. PBKs would want to win to stay in contention. Of course, Kolkata Knight Riders versus the Sunrisers Hyderabad. That is another big game for the Knight Riders. Owen Morgan, can he come back to form? But stellar day if you're a DC supporter, if you're a Rajasthan Royals supporter. Really, really good games of cricket that, and of course Shreyas Iyer, who had that major impact for DC. Here's what he's talking about in one of the other interviews with Gohir. Do join us again for tomorrow, but before that, stay tuned for this interview with Shreyas Iyer. Thank you guys, Hannam, Jerry, Tanmay, Pavan, of course, Gori, and I will come back with the fans.
Yeah, and don't let them stay in the washroom or bash him up, yeah. Get them out.
That's the table. Yes, please be on for this Shreyas Iyer play. Enjoy.
I personally feel it's a
Cheers.
great opportunity for me, especially after coming back from an injury. It's a great opportunity for you to play in the IPL and also after that the World Cup. These are the 2 most biggest stages for an athlete or an Indian player to play at. And we've always dreamed of being part of such an amazing team. And so all these moments, the last 4 months, it has basically helped me fuel and propel my mindset to keep working harder, keep working smarter, and no rest days for me at this point of time. So yeah, really looking forward to the matches which I'm going to play right now, and I'm sure that it's going to be really awesome. So doctors and my physios, they particularly mentioned that I can't pick up the bat like in certain time, but time period they had given to me that you can't pick up your bat, but I wasn't going to follow that. I had this hanging ball at my house, and straight after like 20 days, once my sling came out, I lifted the bat and I was knocking carefully, like to get the feel. I was never away from cricket. I was, in my mind also, I was batting. I wanted to just, as you said, that I was in a good flow, and I also know that I was going really good before the injury. So I wanted to be in that flow and be in that mindset and mind space, how I was doing particularly, and I didn't want to just completely get out of my routine. So I was batting. I asked my dad to chuck few balls at me. He was doing that at home, but it was the best feeling. And once I started batting, which was after 3 months, I lifted my bat and started knocking at NCA. Yeah, the best feeling ever, to be honest.